Gratiaen Award means a lot because it's one of the most accepted literary prizes in Sri Lanka, and it feels great to get it. But having said that, you should also remember it is 3 people's decision. So 3 people are of course good readers, that is why they are judging. But it's always better not to feel I have arrived just because you get the Gratiaen. You just, toss off a coin practically. How, 3 people might like it or not. 3 others might pick another winner. So you never, as joyful as it is to get awards, you must also remember it's just the timing. Since I was always writing as a child, it really didn't change that much, but suddenly there was a huge recognition granted. And because I was so, in a way, not in the scene for a long time, it feels good. Because I got the State Literary Award in 1990. So my progress has been very, very, in a way, slow and gradual. So I never made a bang in any kind of way. So it suddenly made a bang, and that suddenly people are saying, oh, she writes. And that felt good. Mainly editing and the order, because even when I got the Gratiaen, what they said is this book needs editing, because it was about 600 pages long, and I do see it. And one sad thing about Sri Lanka is we don't have professional creative writing editors, whereas in the US you wouldn't dream of publishing without an editor going through it. So I did what I could, gave a few friends, they got back to me. The judges were very helpful, they said what was wrong. So the order is different. In fact, like I played about with the sequential order that the book was presented in. They still say the same. Because for me, characters grow and grow and grow, and I follow them. So sometimes I'm following them on like way out paths. And I think that's what Jill said, don't meander. Get to the, the main path and keep at it. I guess I'm talking about 3 things. One is politics, because I look at the rise of socialism, which became the JVP movement, and the kind of pain and the frustration connected with it, which is still not done, though the movement is, in that sense, it's gone. But I think it's getting channeled in other areas, maybe into religion or something. But I'm looking at that. Then I'm looking at religion, because I'm a Buddhist, and I've been always intrigued by the conflict that Buddhists actually, well, if you're a true Buddhist, have, because we're supposed to give up things. So our success is measured by how little we have, whereas success in the worldly sense is exactly the opposite. How much you have, like what size car, what house, which location. Whereas Buddhism, the success is how much can you give. So like finally you've given your clothes away, given your hair away, there's nothing. So how we live or how we manage our life within this conflict, if that is something I looked at. And then the third element is music, because music is so much a part of my life. I have been, how much it means to me, and sometimes when things like nationalism comes into play, whether people try to own music as well and say that sound is not yours, don't own it. And then what happens to people? So this, in a way it's about freedom. Where do we stand when people around us are not free anymore? So that something you love to do suddenly become a traitorous act. Then what do you do? Things like that. With this launch on the 10th, I'm also bringing out my earlier short stories, and one of those won the State Literary Award in 1990. So you can guess how old I am. But the thing is, now when I'm bringing them all out together, I realize that some of these things I've been thinking as a 16-year-old. And
you've seen the progression of your maturing as a writer.
Yes, so this novel kind of closes a door in one part of my life. It took a pretty long time closing. But if I write again, I don't think it will be anything like this. Because I'm saying many things that have been bothering me that I didn't know the answer to. Not that I know now, because I don't think writers should find answers. Writers should show that there are questions. Because I don't know some answers to some of the issues I'm raising here, but the fact of raising does a lot to me, that finally I'm putting it on the table like this bothers me. So because of that, writing this novel meant a lot to healing the cracks within me. And it took a long time. I mean, I think I had to pass 40 to write this. Because it's very personal in that sense. I don't think you ever do. I don't, because writing is such a continuous process. It doesn't stop. So right now I'm very happy with the way it has come out, but it doesn't stop because it's so print.
It grows.
The word itself is such a, you nail it down. By printing it becomes like, okay, like it's like a rock. When it is not, words are so fluid anyway, it changes meaning. Words are the most insidious things you can think of.
Yeah.
Though we forget, the moment something is there in black and white and printed, you think, well, as I know, it's not, it's just, it just keeps moving. This pinning down doesn't mean it's final in any way. You just got to keep reading. The day you stop reading is the day you die as a writer. Because there are so many better writers than you. So I don't mean that you should write to feel inferior about yourself, but you should write to know what is possible. Like when I was writing this, I had Michael Ondaatje's English Patient in my bag. That's what I wanted to carry. Because, they say things which you can only dream about. But when you write, when you read and read and read, you think, okay, maybe if I say it this way, maybe I'll come at least slightly closer to attaining that style. But it's because I could see that style that I knew that it's possible. So the only advice I would give is read, and of course if you can afford the time, practice writing. We practice everything else, but we don't practice writing. Practice the violin. But writing, once you write something, you don't feel like throwing it away. It becomes so precious. So when it should be thrown away, we try and get it published or whatever. But practicing is very important in writing as well. But that makes me sound like a very organized person when I'm not. Simply because of the chaos of my life, there is time to write. If I were to plan a time to write, there won't be any. It's like we never budget because there isn't to go out, so we don't budget, so it comes. Yeah. So because there is no time, every minute I have, I might be writing. But I don't have the luxury of saying, and because I did my master's in New York, I know how they write. They allocate time. For example, 9 to 12 I write, and come hail or high water, that's what I'm doing. It's as serious as going to office. So in fact, some people dress up and close the door and write. Because that is so serious to them. We don't have that luxury. But if I do, I would have allocated, but that discipline is what makes them that good. Because it's like playing the violin and play and play and play and play, and you get to that point. So they write and write and write and write and get to that point. If I had that choice, I would take it. But personally, this is my, eccentricity. When I'm really tight, the release comes from writing. So that is my, when a kettle boils and boils, the whistle, that is my writing. So, kind of thing like that. I think the Gratiaen is doing a good job because, as year by year, there are more entries coming in. I don't know about the quality, but what I'm saying is it's very visual now. You win the Gratiaen and your visibility increases tenfold, right? And that means also everybody can. We all want to try. I tried for the Gratiaen so long, I got shortlisted twice. This is the only time I won it, but it was worth the effort. It's exciting. So I think the Gratiaen has done a lot. Since I did my master's in New York, I have come back and said we need to teach creative writing. I've always said it. Why do we teach music? We teach art, painting, we teach dancing. And there is this craft which we think, boom, it's going to come from heaven. I'm sure it does. I don't think some of the best writers ever went to class. But if you have moderate skill, learning some of these techniques are going to make you better. So I've always, since now I'm in the university system, one day if I can make this an academically accepted subject, that would be like really great, because there's such talent in this country. Such talent. We are just, I don't know, writing for some reason. People write really well. So if you can just polish it and show the basics, it helped me. Like, don't use so many adjectives. Show, don't tell. Basic rules, which will help. It will help. It's not going to make you a writer. But if you were a writer to start with, learning those things are going to make it so much more better. Because I guess it's not enough to be published here anymore. Because people like Shehan has showed us that, you can, it's possible to get international awards. So that would be a wonderful thing if it can happen. But yeah, let's see, because it's no more enough to be published or within the creation year. You need to go beyond that. Well, everything I will write, I will try to find international publishers as well, even for this, because I do have an agent in the US who hasn't sold it yet, so keep hoping. Because being published here, it hardly makes a ripple in the international publishing world, so I'm hoping it won't make one here. He said go ahead and and submit it and see. So I guess every time I would write, I would try to get international publishing, because it's in a way it's acceptance. So, but I would write always on my terms, because there are particular kinds of books that have it easier, which I don't know, I think so, but I would probably always write the way I feel it with regard to ideas and all that. But I hope one day I'll be accepted. That is my dream with regard to my writing, to be good enough to be published by an international company. And Sri Lankans have done it. Ashok has just got Random House, Shehan got it. So it's always a very good thing when Sri Lankans actually get that. It's a beacon to all of us. It's weird, like I don't even know who they are, but by name I know if I get that name, this is a good writer. Never seen anywhere else but here. So if they can keep writing and discipline to keep on writing is superb. There should be more avenues open for them. So 100 words is one. So it's a joy to edit that page where some really good writing comes in. Anyone can come. The reason I'm having it at Sri Lanka Foundation is it's a very big hall, and I want it free to the public so that anyone who loves words can come, because it's going to be full of reading, full of music, hopefully very little. Talks don't have to be long. It's people will introduce my work very briefly, and it's a celebration of the word, the written word. So anyone I'd love people to come and see.